welcome to the latest update from We Are Famous EFC. So in this video I thought that we'll talk about this is something that I've made an Everton journal through Goodison Park area and Hill Dickinson. So now it's Hill Dickinson, but I've also got the last era of Goodison Park in our journal. So with some memorable games at Goodison Park and also Hill Dickinson. Let's take a look at inside the book. So if we open up on our first page at Hill Dickinson, so I don't know if you can see it, but we've got Hill Dickinson, the first game at Hill Dickinson on the 24th of August 2025 as well, when Everton beat Brighton 2-0 at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. So this is the book what I made. Then if we turn it over to this one, there's a picture of Njai with his first ever goal. He was the first ever goal scorer to score at Hill Dickinson in front of 25,000 Evertonians at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Then now as we move into here, on the 5th of October, Everton went 1-0 down against Crystal Palace for an unbelievable second half when the Toffees went from 1-0 down to win 2-1 at Hill Dickinson for the first time ever at the new ground, with Jack Grealish scoring the last winner and also Iliman Njai scoring the penalty as well. Then we've got some pictures of Njai with the incredible moment at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, without a shadow of a doubt. Then you've got Shrewsbury Hall, you've got Barry, then Njai. This is one of my favourite pictures because of it's Jack's and Illy's goal for the 2-1 comeback as well. And that was the stadium. Full capacity with the fireworks going off for the first time ever at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. A beautiful stadium, the grand old lady really shines, and there she goes again. Then if we turn over to the next page, that's my first experience at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, getting ready for the Brighton game. Beautiful ground. I was in the north stand, lower north, when this picture was took. A beautiful area, and yeah, it was the result we all wanted, 2-0 against Brighton for the first time ever at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. So yeah, it was a dream come true. Then, now as we look into our old era at Goodison Park, the grand old lady, a beautiful summer's day under the grand old lady, with all the historical nights at the grand old lady, especially under the nights as well, when we went 2-1 down against Liverpool to draw 2-2 in the Merseyside derby. Then we've got Hill Dickinson. Again, this is my second time experience of going some really historical afternoons at Hill Dickinson, and the experience of match days as well. Then again, there's me there with me Charlie Alcaraz top on, then just getting ready for Zekars on the siren as we play Crystal Palace. And what a day of an afternoon that was, when we went 1-0 down and we've all thought that we were going to get beat, but no, David Moyes and his players did what Everton do, is come back and win the game 2-1 up the Toffees. Look at that. Then here we've got some with the Wolves game when Everton went 1-0 up by Beto. Then Shrewsbury Hall scored, and then Iliman Njai to make a 3-2 win over Wolverhampton Wanderers at Molineux. In Everton's first win at that stadium since 2020 was the last time Everton won, was under Carlo Ancelotti. Then this season, David Moyes was at the helm and Everton won 3-2 at Molineux. And what an afternoon that was as well. Then over here, you've got Shrewsbury Hall and Jack Grealish when Jack Grealish scored his goal against Crystal Palace. Just to see the players in full faith and excitement is a dream come true. Then, for the first time ever, I went to see my stone at Hill Dickinson. As you can see here, it says Tom Logan and Adam Logan up the fucking toffees. I don't know if you can see it there, but you can see my stone there. So that's basically is where I found my stone with my brother and that. And that was during the Brighton game, so it was fun finding that. Then a picture of the back of Hill Dickinson over the River Mersey over here of the sun. It was a lovely hot day. The build up to the Brighton game as well, without a shadow of a doubt as well. Then a picture of the Grand Old Lady of Goodison Park. To remember, I sat over here in the family enclosure at Goodison Park. Sometimes I'd sit here in lower Gladys with my brother, but my favourite part would have to be lower Gladys, is where I've sat, and that is a rather where it sums up Everton's era and some remarkable days, nights, mornings at the Grand Old Lady, what we'll forever and ever cherish for the remainder of the future of Everton Football Club. Then over here we've got the statues of Colin Harvey and that as well over here. Then for the exciting part, the front of the gate of Goodison Park, as you go in, we had our photo, 1878. Nothing but the best is good enough. And this is what I'll be proud of for the rest of my life as memory at the Grand Old Lady. Then now you've got Neville Southall. Then you've got who put the ball in the red shite net, who put the ball in the right shite net, Super Kevin Campbell. Then you've got Super Kev as well in the middle. And this is one of my favourite photos I got took at the back of the Lower Gladys Street. I'll zoom in a bit for you to see. Then after that we had our picture at the most footballer legend of Everton Football Club is, and striker who's scored more goals than Erling Haaland and any other Premier League, is the famous Dixie Dean. Unfortunately I wasn't born when Dixie was playing, because as I was born I was only about 2 years old, then he died. But to have my picture in front of Dixie Dean is class. Unfortunately I didn't get to see him play, as I've just said, but I've heard multiples of stories with Dixie Dean. So yeah, as I've said, plenty of pictures to get through, but I'm not finished yet. So on the next one I'm going to share with you, Neville Southall was named Football of the Year in 1955, before I was born, and I was proud again to have a photograph for memory before we get took down, as it's going to be the Everton Women's So without a shadow of a doubt, we've got a picture of Neville Southall on the top of thingy as well. The plaque on top of Goodison Park of Neville Southall. And yeah, as I've said, that was a lovely day. Then after that, I had my picture in front of my turnstile of the family enclosure. What I'll always remember and be grateful to watch Everton drew 2-2 in the Merseyside derby for the first time ever of my experience. This is my first derby day experience under the lights at Goodison Park as well. But this is not under the lights. I had to take this one a couple of days before because it was cold, dark and that. But in a moment you will see some pictures of my first ever experience of the Merseyside derby. But this is my little cousin and my other little cousin. A picture outside Goodison Park when I was younger on a cold, cloudy day, just after doing the Everton tour. Then this is my first ever Premier League game against Brentford and the special part about this is that the first ever game was under Frank Lampard. So the first day Frank Lampard came in, because of my autism and that, I didn't like crowds, loud noises, but I said to myself, yes, I'm going to go and try it, and I loved it. Being at Goodison Park will be forever and ever. I'm grateful that I got the opportunity, but my first ever game under Frank Lampard when we won Brentford 4-1 in the Carabao Cup, that is when we were struggling, of course, but to score 4 goals within the first half. Richarlison, Mason Holgate, Michael Keane and Yerry Mina scored. And for Brentford was Adam Toney with a penalty back in 2022. But to be a part of that afternoon was something special. My first ever experience growing up as a young 18-year-old lad when I first went is something I'll forever and ever remember for. Then as we move on now, a lovely summer's afternoon at Goodison Park, having a look at Dixie Dean's flowers of his anniversary, of his birthday, then also paying our respects to Everton chairman Bill Kenwright, who sadly passed away, but God rest his soul. But yeah, it was a lovely summer's afternoon there, and that. Then doing my first ever match press conference at Goodison Park. During the tour, I got the experience, just me, doing a press conference. I don't know what I was saying because I can't remember, because it was in 2000 and I believe that was in 2019 to 2020. It was one of them is when I did it. But yeah, good stuff. Then again, we walked around and these the Everton records attendance, 78,299 Evertonians have been recorded at Goodison Park. So a very massive and amazing achievement for Everton Football Club, of course. Then you've got the FA Cup when Everton won 3-0 against Manchester City as well. Then you've got the night of when, under Howard Kendall, I believe 2-1 against Bayern Munich that night as well. Then Howard Kendall had me photo next, because before I was born, Howard Kendall sadly had a heart attack and passed away. God rest his soul again. But yeah, one of Everton's most historical, famous legend of a manager, Howard Kendall. And rest in peace, Gaffer. So yeah, that was the Everton legend of a manager, Howard Kendall, during his era. Then, this is another special moment as well in the Gladys Street. I sat in fact, I was somewhere here in the Gladys, out here. This is my picture against Brentford. No, it was against Brentford, yeah. When Everton stayed up that season. I mean Bournemouth. Sorry, it was Bournemouth. The sweat, the tears, the emotional that afternoon when Decore scored that screamer under Sean Dyche as well. My experience of fighting relegation for the first time ever, Sean Dyche saving us after the 10-point deduction, and then another 2-point deduction that afternoon was just incredible. It was hot, sunny, but really incredible afternoon, and I was happy to be a part of it. Same with my brother, seeing Decore scoring in the Gladys Street goal that afternoon. The emotions was running high of the Evertonians. Then another special picture is of Everton legend Peter Reid. If you haven't seen the interview with me and Peter Reid, I've done an interview with Everton legend Peter Reid, so do go and check that out, comment and go and like the video and go and watch it and share it out. But yeah, Peter Reid came to my house to do a video with me, an interview, and to have an Everton legend in my house is something amazing and will forever and ever cherish. As well, I had my little cousin Isaac, then my big cousin Sam in the house that afternoon. It was only last year, a year ago, we had Peter Reid in my house doing an interview about Everton, and what an afternoon that was. After when I finished me college, I got him into my house, done the interview, met me nan and met me mum and my family, had our photos, and what a boss afternoon with Everton legend Peter Reid, who arguably has been the best, as I said. But yeah, it was a brilliant afternoon to remember. Then we've got this picture printed out and framed of Goodison Park. Then we've got our legend who signed from Ireland and Rovers, 60 grand, Seamus Coleman, playing football the Everton ways of our legend, our 60 grand Seamus Coleman. And yeah, what a legend he is. So some good pictures and memories to last at Goodison Park and Hill Dickinson, as Seamus is coming to his last year of being an Everton player. Then we've got our super Kevin Campbell as well. Then my picture as well. Then we've got my first ever derby win as well, is when I went when Everton won 2-0 against Liverpool for the first time since 1999, when Everton won Liverpool 2-0 at Goodison Park. And as well, then me and Peter Reid again, and now we're going to finish on this game, the 2-2 Merseyside derby for the last time ever at Goodison Park, when Everton went 1-0 up, then Liverpool equalised 2-1, then Salah leading 2-1, then this man here done the unbelievable and scored the equaliser for Everton to go 2-2 in the Merseyside derby when Everton beat Liverpool. And yes, I say beat because it did feel like we got all 3 points at the end of it, and that night is something forever and ever. I'm so grateful that for my 18th birthday I got the experience for my first ever Merseyside derby and my final Merseyside derby at Goodison Park when Tarky scored that late equaliser. What a night that is to forever and ever remember at the Grand Old Lady as we make more memories now at our new home off the banks of the Road Blue Mersey down at Dickinson Stadium. So that is it, what I've got for you today. Hope that you've enjoyed it. Do leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, share out the video, and yes, hope that you've enjoyed our experience of Goodison Park and Hill Dickinson. See you later, bye bye.